Okay. We'll left off page 240. Only in the Ramo in Dalit. Afilu ilon natur lefnei avodas kol chovim. You have a tree that's planted before an idol. Kol zman she'ein ovdim o ilon. As long as they don't worship that tree, you're permitted to benefit from the fruit. Kol zman she'ein ovdim o ilon, Mishna Berura. Afilu avol mishischilu ovdo. But if they began worshiping it, osa lulovim ba'perush nibtzu oza al ilon asun l'chatchila gavoa. The Gemara says that even though if you worship something which is attached to the ground, it doesn't become Yisur no, but to use it for a mitzvah, you're not permitted to use it for it's not appropriate to use for a mitzvah, because it's something which is detestable, was worshipped. So therefore he says, the tree, although it's before the idol, but if they don't worship it, you could take its branch and use it for the lulav. But once they start worshipping it, l'chatchila, you're not permitted to use it l'gavoa. Why? Demoyis, the word mos. Let's not use the nice word detestable. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. That's mois. V'agidul shiyotza akach asur naf lehedjot. Kivur biyoradei simkuf mem hesif alif yesh omrim shaf im kotzes akum akach unosli so shori. If the non-Jew would cut the branch off the tree himself, the Jew could benefit. Why? Because if the tree is worshipped and the guy cuts off the branch, what is he doing? He's minimizing it. I mean, the tree that remains, they continue to worship. But that he's breaking the branch off, he's cutting the branch, that's bittul. He's negating it. Bitam bittul, vav glovo shori, v'lo mikri mos, mishum shenishtana shini godol, shazavor lo yesro gulovin godlu achrokach. Okay. Right, correct. Hey. All that we've discussed until now, which are not valid, mumin should be the arnubo, because they have either certain defects. Obnei goze lugneva, it was stolen. Yom tavishim levod, which only affect the first day, right? Because it's not lochem. Abshar yom akol kosher. But the subsequent days, they're permitted. So okay, so according to the Mechaber, he's saying, Gzeil and Geneva are only, you're not Yotze only the first day. The subsequent days, you Yotze. Hagov yishposlim begozul kol shivi yomim. Vochinog. But others say, so the Mechaber is saying, this is the principle of mitzvah bo bavera. You have a stolen item, you want to be Yotze, according to Mechaber says, Yotze. Even though the lulav is stolen. The Ramos says, yishposlim begozul kol shivo. The others say, no, that it's not valid, although you don't have to own the daled minim. It's posul. Vochinog, and that's what we conduct themselves. There's a mitzvah bo bavera, you're not Yotze. Avul shol, but let's say just borrow, it's not stolen. Yotze bo. Yotze. Only the first day do you have to own it. The subsequent days, which are only midrabanan, one doesn't. Umuta lito lulav shel chavero below das, okay? Chavero. B'shai yomim. What about if you want to borrow the lulav without informing your friend that you're borrowing the lulav? It's no different borrowing his talis, his tefillin. The Gemara says that as long as it remains intact, we say a person is happy to allow his item to be used within the context of a mitzvah. Right? We say, Nechale linish levet mitzvah b'mamone. A person's happy that his item should be used for a mitzvah. The Nechale linish levet mitzvah b'mamone, bavi kashol, therefore it's borrowed. Except it's not so simple. Let's say you know today, factually, people don't want, like the Ramah rules in the first Chelek, Mishna Berura, that borrowing Sforim, at one time, printed books were very, very expensive. And it's not uncommon that when you use something, you tear a page. So we said Ramah rules with certainty, a person will not want you to borrow his book, his sefer. So therefore, even though you're studying Torah, we don't say, we don't say, we could say with certainty a person would want, because of the cost factor or the vulnerability of damage, people wouldn't want it to take a lulav. gives it personally. Even when you give permission to take the lulav, takes it over with all the kavoni, shakes it. If the one's shaking, there's nothing left. You know, he splits the whole lulav in half. Do you want somebody playing around? He puts it back. Is he careful? You know, most people prefer that unless you know who's using it, you don't want it to become public property. You don't want it, right? And what time what a lulav cost? It costs nothing with nothing. Today, we're talking about something, especially if it's a quality lulav or an esrog. You don't want a person tampering with it. Okay, so therefore, shol, even a person's permitted to borrow, even without the person's knowledge, according to Ramah. This is really based on the circumstance. V'choser, what about choser? If an esrog is choser, it's been diminished. We spoke about the pitim breaking off, right? Or it has a hole in it. Kosher b'shar yomim. Yeah, it's valid on other days. The subsequent days it's permitted. V'nitl pitmosu ukzo dinuka choser. That's choser. If the pitim breaks off, right, or the ukitz, that's the bottom, it's kosher. Mi'om rishon ve'elech. Mi'uim nikvu achborim. The Gemara speaks. What about if a rodent bit out of the esrog? Once a rodent, that's something which is disgusting. It's putrid. So because it's not only it's choser, lo yitlena apishayom mishim mos. Something which is, the Gemara says, if somebody cut a piece off to eat it, it's valid. Also bit it. It says specifically it has to be a rodent. It has to be a rodent. Rodent, something which is disgusting. It's detestable. Achi yosir nikar achbarim. Unless, what about if you cut off that piece? Where the rodent bit into the esrog, you cut off that piece. So there's no remnant of what the rodent bit, then it's valid. Avadim hoyu yovesh. What about the substance if it dried out? Oh, menumer, or it's spotted. There's already hidur. Posel koshivas yomim. Achim chotach hayeveshus. Oh, adnimor. What about if you cut away? Let's say part of the esrog was dried, and you cut away the dry part. Or let's say it was spotted, and you cut away where it was spotted. Right? You hear this? It's posel all 7 days because the location you cut off, what did you cut off? Okay? Let's see the Ramo on this. I mean the Mishna Berura. Kolel hu loshna Rambam. V'sosa machaber ledino kamosa. The Rambam rules like the Rambam. The Rambam says even if it's stolen, you could use it the subsequent days. Das Ramobo ze'ivur l'kamei. Shem psulim mishum mumin. If the esrog is invalid because it has a blemish. Dad yishben shem psulim mishum shein hodor. The two levels of disqualification, either because it's lacking in its beauty, yesh mishum shein b'chal choser, because the esrog is not a full esrog, or the min is not, the species is not a full. Das ram b'kulam mahachshim yom tom rishon ve'elech. All the invalidations beyond the first day, everything's permitted. Every problem. Hitter is not a problem, right? We don't differentiate. V'dasher poskim v'ur l'kamei, mashkosim nigozel gnev yom tov rishon, tamil kem yom tov sheni hu tzrabonon. Muter hagozel. The Rambam and the Mechaber rule, even though it's stolen, you're permitted. Avagav dav mitzvah bo ba'avero. Even though it's a mitzvah ba'avero, you could be yotze. The kosher. The psifal of komadul nivsul gonov gozel l'ganaf l'gazel natzbo. We said earlier, the Mechaber had said that a stolen esrog is not valid for the thief. Because it's, even with Yush, because you have to have Shina Rishus, it has to be transferred to another domain. Mukach Shom, it seems from the Mechaber, it's a contradiction in the Shulchan Aruch. There the Mechaber rules the thief himself cannot be Yotzi. A third party can, because since it's after the person despairs, you give it to a third party so that he didn't steal. Therefore, it's not a problem. And here the Mechaber says that beyond the first day, you can be Yotzi with a stolen esrog, which includes what? Even the thief. I mean, lechatchila, it's not optimum for the thief himself to be yotzei. But if he has no choice, we're not concerned about mitzvah ba'avero, because it's only rabbinical. It's only rabbinical. Do you have a yotzei b'yom tov sheni, apagozel, av yom tov rishon, kol yam lo? Debi'inen lochem, because it's not only rabbinical, because you have to own it. So if actually it's stolen, you don't own it. Bain ber alocha. No. It's even more than that. There's a question what mitzvah b'avero. See the two versions in the Gemara, whether the answer is mitzvah b'avero or it's some other reason why you're not yotzei. The Rambam understands the Gemara mitzvah b'avero is not a problem. The reason why you're not yotzei the first day is not because mitzvah b'avero is not a Torah concept. Is because you don't own it. Torah says you have to own it. Factually, the thief doesn't own it. The third party, when he transfers the third party, he does own it, because since the owner despaired, correct? So when he transfers to the third party, now he owns it, which the thief doesn't own it. It's not because it has no relevance to mitzvah b'avero. He steals it.
That's a form of ownership.
No. Whose is it? But he has an obligation to return it, right? You steal some person has the obligation to return it to the rightful owner. He's in possession. He has possession, but he doesn't own it, right? So therefore, if you say, if he would marry a woman with the esrog, is she married? She's not married. He gives it to the third party. He marries a woman with the esrog. She's married. Because since after he steals it, we're speaking, there was a Yush. Even the third party, if the owner did not despair, the third party is also not yotzei. But we're saying even after despair, the thief cannot be yotzei because he still has an obligation to return it. The third party, once it's transferred to the third party's domain, it's his.
So the concept that the thief is yotzi on the second day?
Because one doesn't have to own it any longer. So you say, but it's stolen. Mitzvah b'avera is not a problem. That's the Rambam, that's the Mechaber. Mechaber follows the position of Rambam. So evidently, it's clear, it's a rabbinic concept. It's a rabbinic concept. It would be a Torah concept. I mean, what's its value? It has no value. For the thief, we're talking about the thief himself. Third party, it's never a problem, because he didn't do the Avera, he didn't steal. Again, what's some of the things? No, he's using an object that it's an object of Avera. So, but he's retaining. No. He's still, he's being yotzi with something that he's not permitted to keep. The thief still has an obligation to return it. So every moment he retains it, he's a thief. It's not only the original act of theft, he's still a thief. You withhold somebody's money. Every moment you withhold it, you're a thief. Okay? That's a question. That is a question. The Mechaber, the Rambam rules, they don't penalize the person. They don't. See, the pasuk, the Gemara cites a pasuk. The mitzvah b'avera is not valid, but the pasuk is cited regarding korban. Only for korban. So the question is, do I draw korban to mitzvah? Korban is a much more advanced level of kedusha. You bring something directly to God to be brought as a korban, it's unacceptable. That's a doraisa. That is a doraisa. So the question is, do I draw from that to apply to a mitzvah? So one position the Gemara is you do. One is, so that's the Ramah. That's the Ramah. It's other Rishon will argue with the Rambam. We don't differentiate. I mean, korban is doraisa. Nobody argues. There's a question, even mitzvah is a doraisa. Tosa's position in Sukkah, even mitzvah is a doraisa. It's not a drabanan. But others hold mitzvahs, korban's doraisa, mitzvah's drabanan. Rambam holds no, mitzvah is not even drabanan. We don't penalize the person.
So why then the first day is a problem?
Because it's not lochem. That's only for the thief. It's not his. Factually, he doesn't own it.
But if you give it to somebody and he can get it back, even though he stole it, according to this, would be a...
No, he still has an obligation to return it. The third party. You mean even the thief on the second day? Seemingly, yes, according to the Mechaber. Let's see, there's a Beralocha. Take a moment. When they gozel genevo, Beralocha. I Mishna Berura Succos with Koshim Sefer Aleph Komar. Seems to the Mechaber contradicts himself. Tirtzer Amogad Avram. So he said the Mogaram answers that the Mechaber says that the thief cannot be Yotzi means Lechatchila. Doesn't mean he cannot, he should not. And with the Mechaber rules here, that means if he has no choice and he did take it, he's Yotzi. Matthew because it less than he was 90, he rejects it. Zivav Hiske Loshin Posul. The Mechaber uses the word Posul means it's not valid. Mashos Posul afil b'diev v'yotze tzorach lomar tehach gozel gneva b'ashkoris lishn nok Rabbi Yosef tein asbo v'tovhis loshin Rambam k'tzuroso zal k'tzuroso v'yikoru mishum da'achilok dimchalik bein psulei mumin bein psulei short inyonim shem avodah zora u'meishenim minom fizeh ma'atohosef ramo v'yishposim b'gozul huraka dasram do al Beis Yosef. So we gab kiloch dino was supposed to sefalov. Chemash agro. The Mechaber had to loshen Rambam. He says the Mechaber does not follow the position of Rambam fully. The Mechaber holds that if it's stolen, we don't differentiate. First day, the other days, mitzvah b'bavera, and that's what he because his posel is posel. He's only speaking about the other defects, whether it's spotted or it's dry, all the others. That's the machlokes the Ramah and the Mechaber. But in terms of stolen, the Mechaber concurs with the Ramah, mitzvah b'avera.
Even though does not have three.
I'm just saying. Bein elu shu mishum hodo mishum chos dein nogel b'yavrish avodini gozel sosem b'reisha simil hachmi. The Mechaber writes it's possible chen kosa agro so dibur hamaschil v'chazozis. Let's see the way it reads over here. No, that's the Mogen Avram. The Mechaber reads, it seems to be that even Gzeil and Geneva is only limited to the first day. So, and that's the way the Mogen Avram understood it. So the Mogen Avram gives an answer, but the answer doesn't suffice because they asked. So if that's the case, you shouldn't say posul. The connotation of posul, the Mechaber rules right at the beginning, says if it's stolen, it's posul. Posul means it's not valid. It doesn't seem the connotation is not lechatchila. Therefore, he's saying posul, gezel is posul all 7 days. The other invalidations, that's only limited to the first day, because that's hodor or whatever it may be. Okay, to be continued. No, posul means it's not valid. Not valid. Yeah.
What if on the first day it's other, it's everything, and then it gets spotted on the second day?
According to the Mechaber, it's not a problem. According to Ramah, it's a problem.
Can you cut away there?
No, that's the Mechaber says if it's numer. Ramah says even you cut away, it's not going to help.
Even though the first day is okay.
Doesn't make a difference.
But it says that it came from a source.
It is a psul. It was numer. Second day also numerous posel. According to Ramah, numerous posel. Second day. Okay.